She must be finished from school by now, right? I mean, you finished work 2 hours ago. I know. Maybe she's just in the garden playing or something. Why don't you go check? Okay, I will. And that was the moment when your mom stopped and she froze. She knew she didn't skip a heartbeat. She knew she skipped 20. She screamed as loud as she could. Her heart dropped and she froze. She wondered if this is really what happened to you. A few minutes later, she noticed that there was a camera. It was still playing. She just stared at the red dot, wondering, how could this happen to my baby? Why did you do this? How could so much have changed in only 2 hours and 2 days? She was just drenched in tears after only a few seconds of just looking at you. She cried the hardest she ever did. She was crying so hard, she almost threw up, but she didn't. A few minutes later, your dad came out because you heard her scream. Would have came sooner, but he was on the toilet. He stared as well, wondering, why did this happen? Did my baby do this on her own? Did I do something wrong as a parent? They both looked at each other and they hugged. Both of them went out drenched in tears. They were both crying their goddamn eyes out. They both saw the red dot now. They didn't want to look at the video, but then they did. They wanted to know why this happened. She was only a few years old. 12 years old, and she's already killed. She's already dead. She's already going to heaven. Parents felt guilty for this. Felt like they did something wrong as a parent because they only lived in a one-story house. Because he only got paid 10 quid an hour. They thought they brung this on her to even think of hanging herself in their back garden. They knew they didn't want to call the police. Not yet, anyway. They knew they didn't want to blame anybody else. Not yet, anyway. The dad got closer and realized nobody did this to her. She did this to herself. How did he know? The camera was still playing. If it was off, someone did this. The box had only just moved from over the other side of the garden. He knew that this was on you. He knew that you did this on your own. He knew he wanted to see that video, but at the same time, he had look. He knew that if he looked at this video, he would cry his eyes out and he would probably throw up. The mom felt the same. She didn't want to see the video, but she wanted to know why she did this. She wanted to know if it was because of them or if it wasn't. They both felt guilty. They both still probably do. They waited about 20 minutes until they called the cops. The mom lied down, drenched in tears. Her dad stood below her body, quietly crying, his eyes out. He kept looking up at you, wondering, why did you do this? Is it on me? Was I a bad parent? Was I mean to you in any way? Did I let you down? did I fail at being the best father I could? While the mom was lying down, she was just thinking, why did this happen? Who did this? Did she put it on herself? Did we do something wrong? And the biggest one she was thinking of was the happy times they had on Mother's Day, when she'd always come in with the same flower every day. And every year it would be that one rose. She always used to go over to the neighbor's yard, ask if she could pick a flower and just bring it to her. Or on Father's Day, she always bring her dad his favorite football t-shirt every year in a different size, so he could always wear it. They were both sad, but eventually the father knew it was time to call the police. He left to go call them. The phone call was about 20 minutes long. He was telling them how it happened, how there was a camera and she had hung herself, the address, and he was crying the entire time he was talking on that phone. He was just wondering, why did this happen? Why did this happen? When they got off the phone, he went back into the garden. He was disgusted in himself. He was disgusted that he thought this was his fault. It took the police about 20 minutes to get there. When they did, they said that they had to take the body away and examine it, see if this was forced or self-harm. They both agreed. The police then pulled down the rope and took out her body. This made the mom feel even worse, that this even had to be happening to her. The police left the rope there and took the body away to examine it. The father and the mother were crying the entire time. Again, thinking, what did I do as a parent? How did this happen? Why did this happen? The police took it away and described that it would be about 2 days before they could see their daughter again before she got buried. They cried even more, but they knew that this was the end of her dead daughter. They knew that she would never come back. So the police took her body away and examined it. 2 days later, they were still wondering, what did we do? They went back outside to get the rope. They moved it away and put it in their house. Then the dad came back out alone. He stared at the camera and wondered, how can I watch this? I'd feel disgusted, upset, a bad parent. How could I watch it? How could I watch my daughter die and be okay with that? I couldn't, but I know I have to. We both have to. Next day, they were going to go visit their daughter, but before that, they wanted to check the video. So we took the camera inside the house. He stopped the recording and got the DVD player. He paid 20 quid just so he could watch it on DVD. His wife knew what she was doing and decided to join. They were both horrified to watch that video, but they both knew that they had to, otherwise they'd feel even more betrayed and upset that their daughter died, that their daughter killed herself only 10 minutes into the video, and she was crying. The guy was a little too, but he held back his tears. But after a few minutes, he knew he had to let them go. They just watched that video over and over again, listening to that one part. I loved you, and I always will. I'm sorry. After about 2 hours of staring at that video, the wife left. But her father stayed. He watched that video 1 more minute long. And then he closed that DVD player and he put it away. He knew that you were gone, and he knew that you were never coming back. He still thought, what did I do wrong as a parent? Why did this happen to her? Who inflicted this to happen to her? He was angry as hell, but he didn't want to show his anger at this time. He didn't want to show anything but his upsetness over your death, over your suicide. He wondered, when did you start thinking suicidal? Was it because of me? Was it because I did something wrong as a dad? As a father? As her daddy? What did I do wrong? Why did I let this happen? A few hours went by of him just standing there, thinking that. He decided it was time to go visit his daughter. They let them visit her in a hospital bed. No machines, no heartbeat, no anything around her, because she was already gone. They didn't need a machine to keep her alive any longer. They didn't need anything to help her live, because she killed herself in her own backyard. Her mom was drenched in tears every single minute she spent with her. She begged them not to take her away. She begged them for around 1 hour not to take away her daughter, not to take away her baby. In her words, she screamed, "No, don't take my baby, it's mine. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry." But the doctors knew they had to take her away. She had to get buried. They knew that that was the moment when her daughter was really gone. The dad was crying too, trying to hold her back as much as he could, to stay strong for his wife, for his daughter in heaven. He was crying his eyes out by the time they got home and started arranging her funeral. They arranged it perfectly. Her favorite flowers in her favorite color. Her favorite song playing at a funeral. And the best person they could find to bury her. They didn't care how much it was going to cost. They wanted the best for their daughter's last moments. They knew she was gone, and they knew she was never coming back. But they just hoped that one day they'll be able to see her again. When they die, they'll be able to say, "I love you. What happened? Why did you decide this? We love you so much." Eventually, they had to go to a funeral. She didn't want anybody there but them and her grandma. Grandma was upset too. Everybody there was. The next morning they went home, and of course, everything that went on was on the news. They were disgusted that people had found out, and they put it on TV for everybody to look at, for everybody to wonder. They were horrible parents. They were even more angry and upset, but they knew that this was happening, that this wasn't a dream anymore, that this wasn't just their imagination. They knew that their daughter died, and they knew that she was never coming back. But they wished one day, just one day, they'll just be able to talk to her as an angel for 1 minute. They didn't care if it was just 1 minute not talking, but at least to hug her, to hear her, to feel her, and just tell her how much they loved her and how much they always will. The funeral was a really good funeral, the best they ever said they had. As I said, they arranged it perfectly just for her. On her gravestone it said, "I love you and I always will. Rest in peace, my little baby angel." Every single day of their lives they visited. They visited her grave. Every birthday they bring a balloon. Every Easter they bring an egg. Every Valentine's they brought a red rose because she liked this one guy. Every single day they got home, they thought about her, they talked about her, and they thought about the happy memories. And every single night, the guy would go to bed on the rug as always, and his wife would go to bed in the kitchen. But every night, she would cry her eyes out, leaving a massive puddle on the floor. She never told anybody she cried. She just did it alone. And every morning, she would wake up extra early just to dry it up. They still had that rope in the same spot they left it. They still had that note. They still had the DVD player and the DVD. They still loved her, and they always will. RPS Bullied. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Please do not copyright this, is my own idea.